Well, for BB, I
Is
think
this?
this is just a mess around track. This ain't one that we're gonna be running, but yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
gonna try the
I've
650S for fun, and then I'll get off the track. If you guys want to do like a team v team thing on this track, I think it's you guys said Monza though, right? Like Monza's the first one, and then Tokyo
yep,
South Inner.
yep. Basically the same
Same,
thing we did.
yeah, same thing we did last night.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha.
Come on. No, well.
Oh, okay, understood. How you doing, all?
Doing good.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Alright, how many guys do I get in here? I've got 1, 2, 3, and I make 4.
Yeah, he's in the party. I could leave if you guys want, but I won't be able to. Yeah. All right, sweet. Spam new route.
They opening a new lobby?
Dude, my PS4's on its way out, Brian. I have a hard time loading messages now. It just like freezes and sits there for like 10 minutes.
I just disconnected from the network. Alright, who's opening a lobby?
I think Legend's gonna host it.
Okay.
Or Smitty's hosting.
Oh, there it is. Holy hell, it's already full. Did my guys make it? 1, 2, 3. Cobalt is 4.
Thank you.
Alright, let's see how this thing does.
No. I think there's a few guys in here that are not like on either team. It's Tau Zeno 4646 Biru 0007. This is a first. Oh, trust me, dude, there's people that don't know how to read, bro. They'll be like, I put up a test and tune room and I have at least like 8 people come in and ask me, when the race start? When does the race start? Yeah. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'll give you some air. You know what I'll do? I'll be like, hey, this is his strategy. If it's on like reverse grid, he gets to start in the front the next race. Yeah. Big brain. Diesel's probably gonna dip here in a sec. And then the other guy is Smitty that you gotta kick out, or the Brazilian guy, Cahao Zeno 4646. Thiago Stark or BR is another one. And I'm not sure about Spiru 0007. There's plenty of room in here now.
Steve-O is one of ours. This thing is a handful.
Oh, Steve-O was one of your guys? Gotcha.
Yep, Steve-O is one of
69.
ours.
No, he's HMR. He's HMR. He's number
So
69. Great number.
that makes 5 of us in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then his Spiru 0007. Actually, never mind. He has 700 miles, so he's also not on anybody's team, I'm guessing.
Nope, he's not with HMR.
There you go, you're in. Yeah, I think we're good now.
I need to drop my torque values.
That's what we did last night. AMS had 2 more guys, so we would sit 2 for one race and then sit another 2 for the next race. That's exactly what we did. So. John, there's 2 Johns. We have Big Mac John, who's a British guy. You probably raced with him before. And then John is a guy that Optimal ran into in a daily race, and he doesn't normally do like tune racing, but we just gave him a couple of tunes, and he was a natural. So. Yep, Stefo is. Stefo's part of HMR.
Yep.
I'm the only AMS in here. Okay, Cowboy, are you sticking around in this party?
Yeah, I got everybody else muted but you.
Okay, so everyone in the Vortex party, I highly recommend before the race, if you get distracted easily, mute me. Because Cowboy wants me to talk to him while like he wants to hear the commentary while he's racing for his stream. But then I'll be talking. So if you guys mute me, it will work out where. Okay. Yeah, if I mute you guys can still hear me. But then if you mute me, you guys won't be able to hear me. So that's why I'm saying it. Yeah. Make sure, Cobra, make sure you tell everyone to mute me if you haven't. You already have. Alright, Cowboy, you're the only one I have on mute.
Alright.
I'm gonna start the stream here in a sec.
Yeah, I got mine going already. Yeah, Lunatic, I'm running tonight. Trying to watch my phone at the same time.
I'll call it Vortex versus HMR team event round 2.
Oh, get out of the gravel, get out of the gravel. Man, I tried that setup that you showed us, and that's way too loose for me.
Yeah, I bet, man. Some of them are tough to drive. You got to get used to them for sure in order to get the most out of them.
Well, and that's like Daryl tried giving me setups too before, and his were, you know, he always said loose is fast, and I get that, but it's just at the way I drive, I can't handle it that loose.
Yeah, there's a few cars that you can kind of like. There's a few cars that just don't get loose. Like the M3 is one of them, where it's a lot easier to drive with the setup that I have on it. Where if you use a Citroen or something, that thing's diabolical. I'm trying to kill you.
I actually run, compared to a lot of guys, I run a lot of tow.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to run that tow to keep it stable or make the steering feel a certain way in the corners, which is usually what I use tow for. So once I get some people in here, the stream is up and live, by the way.
Alright. So how does Twitch work? Do they got an app like YouTube's got?
Yeah, they got they have an app, and then they have the PC website, Twitch.tv version or whatever.
Oh, okay, yep.
And you can hook that up to your PlayStation and stream from there. But I actually have an Elgato game capture, which is like an external device where I basically can stream from everything's plugged into my computer. So so I get the HDMI input on my computer and stuff, and I can stream it onto Twitch from there from the software that I have for Elgato game capture. Yeah, it's like a game capture software. What's going on, everybody? We only got 2 guys in here. I'm gonna put live on Twitch on my Lava's message here. Oh, we kind of spread the thing out. That's not. That fucked it up a little bit.
See, I was running this setup last night, and I was getting down into the 131s, and now I just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Take a look at Gernol's here. He's got the top time currently at a 130.4. Gernol's in the FT1. I've never seen anyone run an FT1 super fast on Monza, but it looks like he's got a 5-speed setup that he's using. And it seems to be working out quite well for him. Let's see if he's going to improve on his time or not here, and then I'll jump to someone else. Oh, and he got a penalty. That sucks. And Smitty right now in the Porsche is in second. Going into the braking zone here for the first heavy braking zone. Gets to slow down. Another guy with a penalty there. Forza Ferrari actually has a penalty in front of him. Jump on to Cowboy, the man that I'm in the party with right now. I'm in the party with a bunch of people, but the one that can still hear me, or I can still hear him. By the way, if I'm annoying anyone who doesn't have me muted, mute me. I have you guys muted right now. If you guys can mute me, just so that you don't get distracted by my commentary, you go ahead and do that. I can't hear any of the other anyone else in the party right now. All right. Cowboy to complete his, looks like his 5th lap or his 4th lap. 133. Improvement there. Very nice. Everyone here still got Gernol's with a good lap here in the FT1 now. The FT1, I'm sure Gernol's has got this thing set up for straight line speed, so the cornering capabilities that it has also is pretty good, but I imagine Imagine he's got a good setup and he knows exactly how to use his car here at Monza. So it'll be interesting to see if he can compete for some wins tonight. A 130.4 is definitely quite a fast lap. So. Running together here on track. Both in the Ford GT as well.
Dom's pretty fast.
Yeah, Dom running the number 63 car here. Same livery at last race, and it's a nice one. The Quebec license plate. Get up to 192 here, 193 before the long sweeping corner. Currently in 5th place, a half second behind Legend. Ahead of Legend is Hellbender, who's also only a half a tenth ahead of Legend. So this is a close field. Road Dogg a tenth ahead of him, and then Granoll's really has the fast lap of the day right now. Granoll's honestly with a blazing 130.4 out of the FT1. I'm not even sure I can do a lap like that. That's insanely fast for that car, I will say. Anyone who's in the stream right now, I know there's only a couple of you, welcome. Welcome everyone. We're going to get this started tonight, probably within, I would say, the next, 10, 15 minutes, I would say. Perhaps we're still going to wait on a couple guys, but... Nightmare in the Peugeot VGT. Now, Nightmare is a guy that we did not see in the last event. And he's shown up here for Vortex. And Road Dogg and Domrem still at it here. Both of them are together on track once again. See if either of them improve their times, and it doesn't look like they will. Enigma, on the other hand, is he going to improve his time? Not quite, I don't think. But he was a 10th off, so it's pretty close. Forza's currently on his best lap. He has him now. The golf paint scheme on the number 40 for Forza Ferrari. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. We're actually up to 95 followers on Twitch now, so it'd be cool if we were able to get to 100. Maybe not by the end of the night, but by the end of this month. Coming to the end of March and the end of COVID season. So hopefully, it's probably not going to be the end of COVID for a while. But now Cobra Senior is actually up on track now, and he's just setting himself up here, getting his outlap in. And Granoll's still here with the top time, obviously with that 130.4, absolutely flying out here with the FT1. Didn't get a 131 this lap, or a 132.
Gravel.
There's a dogfight between Legend, Road Dogg, Smitty, Hellbender, even Nightmare and Domrem. They're all really close. Enigma, they half second back at Dom as well. Cowboy Jets behind him. You definitely got a lot of different cars out there today. I'm noticing a big gap. Obviously, the FT1 is a surprising choice, but it seems to be working extremely well for Granoll. He's got this thing set up perfectly for this track. And then Nightmare and the Peugeot VGT has now jumped up the second ahead of Legend with a 131.7.
Golf Cart Jockey, what's going on? No, I'm not on Twitch. I got AMS Dude on commentary. He is live on Twitch right now. Yeah, I gotta do something with this car.
Legend in third place here in the McLaren F1. Just taking a look at his lap, he's only a half a tenth off Nightmare. I feel like this would be a good time to talk about these two cars. The McLaren F1 and the Peugeot VGT are actually the two fastest GR3 cars in a straight line as far as top speed goes. And it's interesting to see how different they are, because McLaren F1 is lacking a lot of downforce, tends to have a lot of understeer, but is very stable and easy to drive at low speed. Where the Peugeot VGT, again, very fast on the straight like the McLaren F1. The difference being the Peugeot VGT is better high-speed handling than the McLaren F1 by quite a bit, but worse low speed. It's a lot more unstable, has a really annoying turbo. So, two completely different cars, but they essentially achieve the same top speed, and they're the two fastest in the class in the straight line. And of course, at Monza, having straight line speed is of the utmost importance. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it, especially the no chicanes version. You really, really are a liability on the big straight if you don't have a car that can cut through the air like these guys do, these cars. Once again, the cars like the Ford GT, I think that Volkswagen convertible is the third fastest car in a straight line, and then the Ford GT would be the fourth fastest. And we got a couple Ford GTs, actually quite a few of them out here. Smitty's in one as well as Road Dogg. The Enigma and McLaren F1 with that really cool flaming HMR livery. Forza Ferrari actually gets by him here on the front stretch in his Golf liveried Ford GT. MN Cowboy coming out of the corner here, coming out of the chicane. On his outlap, looks like. Unless I'm tripping.
Nope, I just came out of pit.
Cobalt in the Corvette, that's a new one. That's an interesting choice. It should be good on this track. It should have a lot of straight line speed, some good top end. You know, I like using the Viper at this track, and the Corvette handles a lot like the Viper, so I know he's going to be, you know, trying to make his case up there with the Vet, a car that nobody else is in currently. Snail speed, once again.
We've run road courses before every now and then, and you know, when we're running whatever cars we're running, Cobalt to come out with the Vet and surprise us. He does really good in that car.
Yeah, it's his car, and it looks like he's gonna try to make his mark today in that thing. Flo is now out of the pit in his McLaren F1, actually running the stock livery. Maybe just recently purchased it. I don't know about that. Yeah, exactly. Just recently purchased it. Has 3 miles on the car. So he's going out running this for the first time. Maybe picked up a setup. So he's just getting it in now, hitting his bearings with that car. Snail speed, obviously, in another Peugeot VGT, along with Neymar. Snail speed currently running at 9th place right now. As far as lap times go, obviously, this isn't the race, so once the race starts, it's obviously going to be a different story. But as far as the lap times go, Grenol's still the king of the castle, but it looks like Legend's actually gotten within a second of Grenol's. Now, I don't know if Grenol's picked up the slipstream on that 30.4, but that is a very incredible. Oh no, he actually recently just improved his 30.4 to a 418 before he had a 450, so he's flying right now, definitely flying. Legend obviously not too far behind him, actually, on track and on the leaderboard. So 31.2 for Legend. Neymar not too far behind in that Peugeot VGT. Once again, the car with no side windows. But thankfully, you don't need side windows to see in this game on your peripherals. So he's jamming out like a baller in that thing, absolutely. And Cobra Senior actually in the McLaren F1. Not too far behind Neymar, actually, as far as lap time goes. And he's got that thing going, the number 81 Vortex car. Interesting to see how the dichotomy of having some of the better straight line cars like the McLaren and the Peugeot VGT race against, you know, some of the other cars in this event, something like an FT1, which Forza just hopped into as well, and the Corvette, which has some good mid-end grunt, but top-end wise may have a bit of a hard time. Road Dogg actually now in the Ford GT, the Ford Performance livery, Ford EcoBoost GT40. That's a very nice Vortex livery, the number 99 car. Road Dogg hops into 3rd place, also within a second of Grenol's. It's very impressive, 130.4. So, looks like Vortex game to play tonight. HMR is definitely going to have something to say about this, though, tonight. Obviously missing Racing King, with Racing King having some technical issues, for those of you who are wondering. But you know, this week's kind of just for fun, and, you know, nobody's going to take it too seriously, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think we're going to get some good racing tonight. Looks like we're getting ready to start here in 3 minutes. 3 minutes ready up, so Grenol Knowles here, actually in the slipstream of Legend. See what kind of lap these two can get together. Welcome everyone to the stream. Golf Cart Jockey, thank you for the follow. Sorry I missed that, man. That was 5 minutes ago now, but I caught it now, so if you're still in here, I just want to say thank you for the follow, my friend. That's very nice of you, bro. We are now at 96 followers, which is the inverse of 69. That's pretty awesome, so thank you guys for that. Just a month ago, I mean, I think I was at like maybe 60 followers or 62 followers, so already, I really appreciate all the support I've been getting from you guys, obviously, on these streams. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, obviously. Having events like this where I'm not necessarily the one racing, but at least I get to commentate and, you know, have a good viewing experience. As Legend's actually up on his last lap, looks like. So we're going to see if he can improve on that 131.2. A little bit of back out lag, it looks like, so it cost him a bit of time there with people leaving the track. Now he's going to definitely go a little slower, that's for sure, but still a solid time. Road Dogg actually coming around turn, consistent Road Dogg is 31 4s and 3s. Go back to Dom Rim. Dom Rim coming through the chicane nice and smoothly. Making sure he picks up the gas nice and smoothly. That Ford GT can definitely get sideways on you if you're not careful, so he's making sure that he hits everything correctly and carries on. Cobra Senior back to the pit, obviously happy with his time, and same with Snail's beating Cobalt. Steffo has actually switched over to the Red Bull Racing Mazda Vision, and maybe he feels a little more comfortable in this car than he did with the Mclaren F1, but he's going to obviously get started here, and it looks like the race is now started. We have 14 participants in the race. It's going to be interesting to see. It looks like we're going to have a little more Vortex guys in the race than HMR guys, but needless to say, it's going to be a good race. Let's see where everybody's starting. It looks like it's on reverse grid, so it's on. The people that were in the pit actually are now in the lead of the race, which is interesting. So we're going to find out here quickly, obviously, if these guys can stay out front or if some of the guys who are running some of the hot laps are going to come through the field quickly. But now we're off the vet, goes out to an early lead, and Cobra's right alongside him in that Mclaren F1. As you hear them absolutely flying by here. It looks like there's a little bit of jockeying for position back there with Granoles. Granoles trying to get a bit of airtime by swerving. Side by side, Nightmare, Legend. Oh, they're into each other. Smitty, Road Dogg, Nightmare. And it looks like Steffo takes a spin around in the Mazda Vision car as well. Nightmare gathers back up. Steffo is pretty far in the sand right now, so bad start to the race for him. I'm surprised not as many more people didn't wreck there. Cowboy also. Oh man, Granoles is off again, along with Cowboy. Obviously, these guys obviously haven't the best start to their race, but I'm sure they're going to be able to come back, no problem. It's going to be more going on. And Cobalt into the wall. Not sure if that was off the front bumper and Nightmare, but it looked like they were running pretty close, and someone got into the wall, and they're going to continue going. Granoles is around again. Not the best start for a guy who ran a 130.4, but you know what? Granoles probably set some pretty good times coming up through the back of the field here, so we should keep our eye on him. Meanwhile, Cobra Senior has hopped out to a big lead. I haven't been able to cover the lead battle just because there's been so much going on behind. But Cobra is honestly, setting the pace here. Obviously, got one of the faster times in the practice. Feels pretty confident about the way his car is driving. He went back to the pit, took a break, and already out to a pretty healthy lead over Snail Speed and Hellbender, his teammates. Once again, a bunch of McLaren F1s and Peugeot VGTs leading the way currently. So, Enigma currently 4th place, actually, within the draft of Hellbender in that really nice flaming HMR livery. I can appreciate it, a nice livery, actually going 200 miles per hour before that kink. You don't see that too often in GR3 cars at a track like this, so 200 miles an hour is quite impressive. They all kind of slow down for the braking zone here. Road Dogg and Smitty are following in hot pursuit as well, and the Ford and the Porsche. You got a whole bunch of cars back here, about evenly spaced out, but a few different battles going on here, 3 different battles, and Enigma's around. Unfortunately, Enigma lost and he's backwards. Unfortunately, he's going to have to wait for a few of those guys to hop on by him and get going again. And obviously, Cobra is still out to a pretty damn good lead right now. 3 seconds over his teammate Snail Speed. Actually, Hellbender goes on the inside of Snail Speed looking for a way by as Snail Speed concedes a position, and Hellbender goes into second place, followed by Road Dogg and Smitty, who are still battling. Smitty in the Porsche, which is the better handling car, actually picks up a penalty. The Porsche is just staying in the draft of that Ford, and maybe in the corner he'll be able to make a move, but for now he's got to worry about that penalty as Road Dogg goes wide, so Smitty is actually going to pick up 4th position here with that penalty that he's holding on to. Domrem actually not too far behind these guys either. If they continue battling, he'll be able to pick up the slipstream. For those of you wondering, slipstream is 0.750, so once you get into slipstream range, you will notice, especially on a big straight like the front straight here, you get a big pull. So, interesting to see that. Oh, Enigma is now falling back, and Granolas and Enigma are actually running here in the back. Granolas actually picks up the fastest lap at 130.7. Unfortunately, he has nothing to show for it position-wise, just due to the circumstances on the first lap. So, not the best start for him, but he'll be back in the next race for sure. Tough to kind of see right now is Hellbender gaining on Cobra. It seems like the gap has stayed about the same for the most part, first and second. And Smitty again still has that penalty, but is out of slipstream range from Snail Speed, and Domrem's actually going to go by Snail Speed into 4th place. Big battle going on here. Nightmare's actually going to slide by Snail Speed as well as Legend kills off the last 0.1 of his penalty. Road Dogg with a late move on Legend. Legend was not 100% ready for that. It looks like Legend is a little bit sideways, but they all pick it up, and Road Dogg with an aggressive move into 7th place. Now in the almost the slipstream range with Snail Speed. He's probably going to want to try to pick up slipstream here on Snail Speed on the big straight, but I don't think he's going to quite be close enough. He goes a little wide, and now he's going to have to worry about Legend behind him. Cowboy a little bit here on an island by himself here in 9th place. 4 seconds ahead of Forza Ferrari, very safe distance, and then 10 seconds up to him and Legend. But obviously plugging away, hoping to get some positions if there's some incidents up front. And the way these guys are racing, I mean, at any point something can happen and you get a little bit crazy. But Snail Speed and Nate running kind of nose to tail with Domrem leading the way in the Ford GT, but it looks like he is going to hold 4th currently. Nightmare is right on his bumper, but Domrem is not fazed by that whatsoever, and he continues on. And these guys Smitty is slowly pulled away from these guys in 3rd place. It's going to be interesting to see if Domrem and Nate and Snail Speed work together to try to catch Smitty, or if the Vortex guys are going to try to pounce on the fact that Domrem is currently running by himself. But regardless, you got a big gap, or sorry, a big gag, I don't know what the word is, big group of cars, let's use that word. Already here, basically 4th through 7th, so 3rd through 7th, no, 4th through 7th, not really. Cobra still leads the way with a 4-second lead over Hellbender. The gap has basically stayed exactly the same, between 3.9 and 4 seconds. Not much to say about that. About equal distance back, 3.2 seconds is Smitty, and then another 3 seconds is Domrem, who's actually broken the draft between Nate and Snail Speed. Would have been interesting to see how that happened. But Domrem is actually comfortably ahead right now. Now, Nightmare and that Peugeot is going to gain a little bit of time here on the backstretch because that car is a little faster. But it looks like he's not going to be able to make a move on Domrem. He hasn't even gone slipstream yet, so it's a comfortable position to be in. As actually Snail Speed's going to go to the inside of Nightmare. A couple wide Peugeot VGTs going through there side by side. They made it work. Still side by side actually for 5th place. Nate's going to break the latest, and it looks like Domrem actually broke a little bit earlier than those two, but those guys are all there. Legend's actually creeping back into the picture. Granolas is 130.1s all the way up through the field. He is coming in a hurry. He's just unfortunately going to run out of time here before be able to catch the guys in front of him. 7-second gap, and obviously these guys clicking away at it here in the back. Cobra and Enigma are actually having a nice battle here, side by side. And just to skip back here to the leader, Cobra actually extended his gap to Hellbender. Hellbender, I think, had a bit of a problem, as it seems. So Cobra is going to come around the last corner and pick up the first win of the night. The number 81 car crosses the line, Square D sponsorship. Hellbender, not too far behind, also in a McLaren F1. He's going to pick up second place. Not too far behind him, we have Smitty. And Domrem's actually going to hold on to fourth ahead of Nightmare and Legend. So a good job from those guys to hold on to top 5 positions. Snail Speed, Road Dog, and then Granoles. Obviously running some extremely quick laps. He's going to come home with a 30.2. Extremely quick laps, man. Granoles, 9th place. Cowboys in 10th. Forza coming across the line in 11th place, as Cobalt actually has gone by Enigma, and he's going to take his Corvette, number 49 Corvette, home in 12th place. And Enigma coming out of the last corner. Was running up front early. Unfortunately, the race didn't go the way he wanted to, but didn't have time to burn them off, but such is life, I guess, and Cobra's going to be celebrating in victory lane for the first win of the night for him. Now, I think the grid is on reverse grid, so we're going to see the field invert basically for the next race, and it'd be interesting to see some of the guys from the back fighting to the front, and then see some of the guys who had not so great of a race last time try to hold their position and get a good one, get a good race going, and try to do a little bit better. It looks like maybe Cowboy got into Granoles. Now the grid order is actually on fastest first, so all the drivers are going to want to go out and probably set some laps early before they continue to get the race started here, because obviously if it's on fastest first, if you don't go out and run a lap, you're going to be starting in the back. So I'm sure these guys are going to go see some practice laps here before the start of this next race. Hexam, I do not think belongs to either team, so I'm interested to see where he is going to. He's currently on the track. See if they get him out of here or not, but currently he's on the track, so yeah. What's up, Official One? Good to see you, man. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. First race was a good one. It looks like I think they're gonna be going to St. Croix B, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's, or no, sorry, they're going to Tokyo South Interloop as the second race. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out. Obviously, the car selection may be different at a track like South Interloop, even though South Interloop also has a lot of straights. It has a lot more corners, a lot more high-speed corners than Monza. So the car's choices may vary a little bit. I'm not sure how much they'll vary, but we'll definitely be sure to check out which cars are chosen. And obviously now the Hexam guy gets kicked out of the room, so Steffo is now back in the room. Obviously he maybe had some disconnection issues last race, but he's back now, so unfortunately, after getting a bad start for the last race, Steffo's going to come back and hopefully help HMR out here with the overall team performance. Now, these guys are out running laps right now. It'd be interesting to see, are we going to go to Tokyo South Interloop, or if we're going to stay here. I think the plan originally was to go to South Interloop and then St. Croix B, but I'm not 100% sure what the deal is right now. I'll keep you posted on that. Yeah, let's go back to the race results. Obviously, just look at the car variety up there. You have the McLaren F1s obviously taking home 1 and 2. And the 911, Smitty obviously didn't care about the straight line speed. He took the cornering over the straight line speed and was rewarded with a podium behind his two teammates in Dom Rim, scoring a 4th place finish for HMR, a very short-handed HMR, obviously, with a few of their guys out of the lineup for tonight, and then obviously the disconnection of, what's his name, Steffo. Obviously, they had a bit of an issue there last race with him unfortunately not being in there at the end of the race, but Dom Rim takes full 4th, Nightmare in 5th place, Peugeot BGT, Legend, it looks like we kind of got a couple Peugeot BGTs and a couple McLarens, and a bunch of Fords, obviously. And Granoll's picks up the fastest lap, man. That's incredible in that car. That FT1 is not known for its straight line speed, but he is a wizard with the setups on this track, on a track like that. So he figured it out and was running very, very fast laps, very, very consistently fast laps too. So. And now we head to Tokyo South Inner Loop, obviously track breakdown. It has a lot of straights, but on this track there's actually a lot more high-speed corners, a lot more technical sections. And on this track, on most racetracks you have a lot of runoff area, you have some leeway if you mess up. Around here, if you mess up, you're going into the wall. So for those of you who don't know, this track is actually an extremely fun track. It's my personal favorite Tokyo track. South Inner Loop honestly poses an interesting challenge for all the drivers as once again, they have to navigate not only these walls and how close you can get to the walls, but you're kind of playing a game of chicken with the walls essentially the entire time. And you want to have a setup that is balanced for straight line speed, but can also take the corners. So obviously, a lot of different challenges posed on this track that weren't necessarily as potent on Monza. Granoll's actually switches rides. He goes from the FT1 to the Peugeot BGT, in which we saw a few of them last race. And I know Granoll's is definitely going to be a contender to win this race. I know for a fact he is. I'm not sure which setup he has on there, but I know he has a good one. So, and his Peugeot BGT around this track absolutely flies. Because I mentioned earlier, the McLaren F1 is a bit of high-speed understeer. This car is none of that. If you can manage the turbo in the low-speed corners, this car will get through the high-speed corners fast, and it will have the straight-line speed that's top of the class. So, obviously, didn't get to talk too much about him last race, other than his fast laps, just because of the bad start that he got. But I expect him to be well on his way to potentially picking up a win, if not a top 5, top 3 finish. So. Another guy who's out there is Cobra as well in the Peugeot BGT. Cowboy is actually out there in the McLaren F1, so Cowboy is going to probably thrive in the lower speed sector. Number one, there's a hairpin at the end of this big straight, as we're going to go on board with him here. He speeds down this straight. Now, there's a dog section up here. We're going to stay on board with him just for a little while, just so I can kind of give you guys a good overview of the track. Obviously, Monza being a real-life track, more people know about Monza than this track, so want obviously all the new viewers to show essentially what this track's about. This tight hairpin. McLaren F1 will be good in this tight hairpin because it doesn't require as much downforce. The Cowboy goes through here, and he's going to pick up 5th gear before he goes into this corner. Slows down, very high-speed corners here. You want to try to basically take as much as you can through that corner, but also have enough to set up the next set of S's. So you don't want to lose too much speed. Cowboy with a little slide on the entry, but that was beautiful the way the car rotated. He got through there, coming on to finish his first lap. Once again, a little bit of a straight here, not the longest straight on this track, but definitely one where the McLaren F1 can spread its legs. Jesus Christ, that doesn't sound very good. But yeah, continue. Granoll's actually picks up a 147.2. I know that's a quick lap from him, but I imagine he can probably go even faster than that, which is quite scary to think about, obviously. Westpat actually in the Porsche, not too far behind him. Westpat's another ringer who didn't run in the last race, but this race, you know, he's going to be going hard. He's going to try to pick up a race win. I can speak from experience. This guy is very fast, so watch out for Westpat in this next race. Legend as well. I'm not sure which car Legend opted to, if he's in the Porsche or if he's in what he's in exactly. Legend actually in the Peugeot BGT as well. Coming up on Cobalt here in his signature Corvette. Very nice black livery from Cobalt there with Corvette with the silver stripe. Cowboy comes around to complete his second lap. Behind him actually is Hellbender in an RS01. And at first, like a Viper now. For those of you who don't know anything about the RS01, it is the best car on a lot of tracks. This track would probably not be one of those tracks. The RS01 is a car that is extremely good at high-speed cornering. It's just good at cornering in general. It's probably the best car in Group 3 as far as cornering goes, but it doesn't have the straight line speed that some of these other guys have. But Hellbender obviously confident enough to run it here. Obviously, slipstream being a big, big factor in a track like this. Hellbender will be able to keep up on the straights with the slipstream and then be able to take advantage of the Renault's cornering potential. So he's the only one on track with it right now, so I'm definitely going to be interested to see how that works. Obviously battling some of the more high-speed, top-speed oriented cars. It's going to be interesting to see. Steffo in his Mazda Vision, hopefully this race. Thankfully, Monza, although Monza is a track where it also has a lot of straights, it also has a lot of places where if you do get into trouble, you're gonna lose a lot of time. But on this track, even though there's a lot of walls, a lot of the time if you get hit or bounced off the track, if someone hits you off the track, you're just gonna bounce off the wall and continue on like nothing happened. Where on some other tracks you might end up in a sand pit losing a ridiculous amount of time. So yeah, Steffo comes around this corner, starting to get acclimated with this Mazda Vision around this track, which is a very good car. The Mazda Vision being, I think, the fastest car in a straight line as far as front-engine cars go. I think it is the fastest front-engine car. Someone might be able to correct me on that, but maxed out, I'm pretty sure it is far and away the best one. Domrim also actually has switched over to the Mazda as well and has actually gotten a 150.8 on his first lap. Cowboy just ahead of him on the score charts and behind Hellbender here on track. These guys are clicking away at laps, and Forza Ferrari here in 11th, also in the 4GT as well, probably running at least something close to what he had at Monza, but it'll be interesting to see that. And Road Dogg has actually hopped into the FT1 and now has going out. Yep, he's going out on the FT1. So from Gernolds to Road Dogg, looks like we're going to have another FT1 in the race this time around. Gernolds is now down to a 46.0. Now that's starting to get into the range where, you know, these are some of the fastest times you could really run at this track. You know, like get into the 45s. That's some elite company. Not a lot of people get into the 45s. So, and even less people get into the 44s. But Gernolds already at a 46.0. First few laps on the track. You know, like I said, he's going to be definitely the favorite to win this race. Going to be what other people can do with him, because this Peugeot VGT, let me tell you, does not get a good launch at the start. So at the start of the race, I imagine he's going to have some issues getting off the line, but once it does get started, it seems like he has far and away the best pace, at least so far, as his teammate Cobra is second place with 1.0. Never mind, Cobra picks up a 46.4 as soon as I say that, and puts himself into second place on the leaderboard with a 46.4. I mean, that's extremely fast. Obviously, he's in the Peugeot too, so he's going to have to deal with the shitty launch as well. Westpat is the highest non-Peugeot VGT right now, currently in the Porsche 911, and this is his bread and butter, this car, as he actually improves to a 46.9. So now we have three different people within the 46s. Nightmare within a half second of those guys, also in the Porsche. Very interesting and cool livery on Nightmare's car, I must say. A second behind Neymare's Legend, who actually just went by Road Dogg's FT1, and it's going to be hard on the brakes here. Cobalt is currently parked. I think Cobalt's pretty happy with his pace, and gonna get ready for the race here. Just kind of take a break before the race starts. And we actually got a couple more Porsches on track. So I kind of predicted this. Basically, the cars from Monza to South Interloop, obviously South Interloop being a more cornering-oriented track, the Porsches are now coming out, and the 911 RSRs, let me tell you, they have a decent amount of straight line speed, not the most, but these things corner, and they're stable and easy to drive. And you know, the 911's the bread and butter of Group 3 maxed out. And Smitty just got a random 3-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag, which makes no sense. Yo, Treason, can I join? Yo, Treason, this is a team versus team event, man. I'm lucky I was even able to join Treason. I don't know, man. But I'm sure after the last 2 races of this team event are over, Treason, they'll probably open up the lobby for anyone to join. But currently it's just kind of a team v team thing, you know. So, by the way, thank you for the follow, Kazuma Game Channel 1988, and I really appreciate the follow, bro. Yo, Treason, thanks, man. No, I mean, this is sick. I like doing this, bro. Like, I love racing, don't get me wrong, but just being able to watch these guys race and kind of, you know, go hard on this track, like, it's always interesting to see how it plays out, you know? I know I say interesting a lot, but I'm fucking interested, you know? What can I say? You want to cruise later? Absolutely, bro. Send me a friend request. My PlayStation Network name, unless you already have me added. But Treason, if you don't have me added, my name is AMS_dude. It's the same as my Twitch, basically, man. So AMS_dude. And I'll accept that friend request and we can do some cruising and whatnot later and pop into a party chat. But I'm 100% down, bro. Thank you for the follow, by the way, too, bro. Let's go. I think we're at like 98 followers now. That's 2 followers away from 100, guys. We're getting to real close to the big 1-0. Or big 1-0-0. Fuck. Yeah, welcome everyone in the stream. Obviously, we got some new faces in here, and I really appreciate all of you coming in to not only watch me commentate and talk too much, but to watch these drivers obviously set some good laps, but on top of it, get going here, and hopefully we get a race started soon. Obviously, racing is where the action's at, but Granolas and Cobra are currently parked. Cobra has to pee, so Cobra's currently sitting at the toilet. I can't commentate that, can I? But, yeah, basically just kind of a friendly Prince West. I'm guessing that the future is on this, so I'll quickly accept that. Guessing that's you. One should have went through, yeah. If it was Prince West, I got it. I added you, so you're good. Westpat actually going to go to the outside of Cobalt here, and they're going to run some. Westpat going to try to get his game on here, right behind Nightmare. I think they're actually within slipstream range of one another. I can't change the view. There we go. Obviously, the big thing with HMR is, oh my God, Optimal with the subscription. I fucked that up. I'm waiting for someone to subscribe for a while, and then as soon as I get one, it fucks it up. I fuck it up. But thank you, Optimal. I use JDM mostly. I feel that, bro. JDM is the vibe, man. I love JDM cars in this game. I just wish there were more of them, you know? If there were more JDM cars, damn, bro, I'd be having a field day. Optimal, thank you for the friggin' sub, man. You're a real one, man. I've known this man Optimal for God knows how many years now, like 5-6 years, and you know, subscribe to me on Twitch. I appreciate that, man. I really do. But it looks like Spitty is saying ready up, so it looks like everybody, for the most part, I assume is ready to go, and rightfully so. It's going to be an interesting race to see how it plays out. Obviously, the starting order is going to be based on all these lap times that people have gone, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But, like, you know, when Paul and Letty and Mia broke Dom out of the prison bus? Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Like the black, yeah. I got you. I mean, I dig that aesthetic, man. That's a nice aesthetic. I agree with you. But we're going to get this race started. 2 Peugeot VGTs on the front row. This could be a bit of a disaster. I expect the Porsches to try to get by quickly. Especially with this grid start, it's actually quite close together, but the Porsches, like I expected, are going to follow each other. Actually, it looks like Granolas is holding on to... No, he's going to drop back to third, and the Porsches are actually going to lead the way with Granolas on the outside, Cobra to the inside, and Granolas is actually falling back now. Legend is actually going to go on the outside, and Granolas has not got the best start. Our pole sitter is falling back just a little bit, but I expect him to pick it up. Obviously, his pace has been incredible. like we had a bit of contact with the wall up there. Nightmare, yeah, a little bit of contact with the wall behind West Pat, but these guys get off to an early lead. There's a battle behind them. Cobra's actually going to clear that, and Granolas has fallen back even further. Smitty and Legend have actually gone by, so a lot of the Vortex members getting by their teammates. Getting by Granolas, at least. But now everything's starting to kind of get straightened out and spread out a little bit. Not really anything going on here on the track as far as battles go, but Enigma looks like he has a big run on Hellbender. Enigma's going to pull the outside. Now, is he going to have a big enough run? No, it looks like Hellbender's going to hold on to it for now. Cowboy's actually going to go up in there too. Cowboy to the inside of his teammate Enigma. Also, is he going to be able to get a run on Hellbender? It looks like they're just going to go into the braking zone here, side by side, nice and carefully. Cowboy gives him lots of space, and everything seems to sort itself out. Domrem and Forza, a little bit of beating and banging off the side of each other. Battle for a top 10 position here. These guys are side by side, beating off the side of each other. Looks like it's clean though. Everybody's racing fairly, and that battle will probably continue on throughout the race. Snail Speed is now out of the Peugeot and into the Porsche. Seems like he didn't get the best start, as West Pat completes lap 1, and Cobra has actually gone by Nightmare. And Smitty is actually not too far behind Nightmare either in the slipstream. And behind them are the two angry Peugeots of Granolas and Legend. So Peugeots don't get the best starts, but it looks like as far as top speed performance, the Peugeots are definitely catching up to the Porsches here on the race pace. So I go on board with Cobra Senior. There's no Citroens. I'm surprised there's no Citroens either. Like, not a single one. Like, the Citroen is tough to drive. So I understand, I guess, but I am with you there. I'm a little surprised, but now Cobra is going to pick up a big run on West Pat here. Even with that little slide on the exit, I expect to see this Peugeot VGT absolutely destroy West Pat down this big straight, just due to the straight line potential, and sure enough, Cobra pulls up on West Pat, and West Pat's going to sneak into the draft, and this is a good position for him. He's going to use the legs of that Peugeot VGT on the straight, but then also reap the benefits of having the Porsche, which corners a little bit better than that car. So, he's going to slot into line, and Nightmare is actually 1.6 behind. Somehow able to hold off Granolas and Legend in their Peugeot VGTs. But Granolas is making a charge back through the field, obviously. With the lap times he was running in practice, you expect him to, and he's definitely living up to the expectations. I'm going to go back to the normal view here. A little further back, we got Smitty and Hellbender. Hellbender just outside of draft range behind Smitty. But once again, you got a bit of the Porsche Peugeot dichotomy kind of going on all throughout the field, honestly. These seem to be the two most popular cars, and why not? They're very, very good on this track, so it all kind of makes sense to me why those cars. And you've actually got a train of cars behind Forza Ferrari. Cowboy looking for a position on Forza. We're going to go on board with him. Enigma not too far behind as well. Enigma's following in behind these guys. A little bit of wall contact there with Cowboy, but he's going to gather it back up, and he's still within slipstream range of Forza, at least for now, and he just came out of slipstream range. But I'm sure he'll get that back, and there'll be a good battle going on here. But because now Cowboy was out of slipstream range, Enigma had a big run on Cowboy. But he's just going to concede and stay behind. With Domrem actually in the Mazda, not too far behind them. Not many FR cars in this race. Not many FR cars in this race, but the Mazda is one of the lone front engine cars. Obviously running well here in the Mazda Vision Gran Turismo, one of the newer cars added to Gran Turismo Sport. For those of you who maybe haven't played the game in a while, Domrem's actually on a much faster lap than his last one, so he's making good pace right now. I imagine if I was a betting man, I would probably assume Domrem's going to finish higher than 11th when it's all said and done, but so far that's where he's running. And Snail Speed, obviously, in the Porsche, maybe making his move up through the field as well. With Cobalt and Levette not too far behind him. And Defo not having the best race, but he's burning off that penalty, and he's going to continue going. West Pat actually came out to I thought there would be an R35. The R35 Treason is not the best in the max performance Group 3. So, like, when you max out all the cars with, like, 690 whatever horsepower and lower the weight, Unfortunately, the R35 isn't as competitive as some of these other cars. But it's an interesting meta. It's an interesting meta we have here in the maxed out community. We got 7 laps. Westpat is actually, something happened to Cobra Senior because he was leading the race, and unfortunately we missed it. But he had a big issue to be 4 seconds back now. But he's gathered it back up, and he's just kind of fit in there seamlessly with the rest of his teammates. It's going to be interesting to see if Granolas, who also has to burn off this slight amount of penalty time, but see if Granolas can actually slide his way to catch up to Westpat and take the win. He's actually got a lot of time to do it, got quite a few laps to make his way up through the field. Treason, thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm kind of new to the whole commentating thing, so, you know how that goes. But Nightmare, still about 1.6 seconds behind Granolas here. Granolas made quick work of him, and it looks like Cobra Senior is actually going to make quick work of him too. Obviously, the straight line speed of the Peugeot is just seems to be superior right now, so he's going to slot on by. Currently running P3, that's a podium position for him. Legend honestly hanging in tough with these guys as well, just kind of lingering. And if something were to happen with them, Legend would definitely be able to pounce and make up some time for sure. But let's take a look here. Granolas still catching Westpat. Obviously, that Porsche has a big handling. Not only does it handle extremely well, the Porsche, but it's very stable, easy to drive. You see Granolas sliding around a lot in that Peugeot because that car is much more difficult to drive. I can tell you from experience that Peugeot VGT is a handful with this much horsepower. But so he's lost a bit of time to Westpat here, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can make up enough time to get the win. I'm sure he's giving it everything he has to try to catch up, so further back we have a little battle for 5th and 6th, I think. No, 6th and 7th between Smitty and Hellbender. They're a little bit on their own island. 4 seconds behind Legend, 7 seconds ahead of Forza Ferrari. He's running with snail speed. Domrem again, kind of expected it at this point, but he's up to 10th now, and he's actually closing in on snail speed in Forza. So I'm sure he's going to try to make up some more time. Obviously, the best finishing HMR from last race got a 4th place last race. Domrem did. So, going to continue along here. And actually, a battle behind them. Enigma and Cowboy actually side by side. These two have been going at it the entire race, and not too far behind him too is that Corvette, that sneaky Corvette of Cobalt. Obviously, running the Vet is definitely not something you see every day in maxed out lobbies. But Cobalt obviously making it work, staying, proud Chevy driver, and he sticks with it on every track, so good for him. Not too far behind this battle here for 11th place. And Domram once again trying to make up some time here, but we're going to go back to the front. Take a look here, and it looks like Granolas has gained a little bit on Westpat. Now, has this been enough to actually catch Westpat? I don't know. I think the big number we need to look at here, obviously, as you see, one of the HMR drivers, Steffo, has parked his car, called it a day. You know what? Yeah, he went out, he tried, he had a good run, and again, that's just for fun. So, he did well. Thanks, Treason. I appreciate that, man. Once again, dude, I know I sound like a broken record. Actually, Granolas had a bit of a problem and lost a bunch of ground to Westpat. Like I said, the gap we're looking for is 0.75. The reason I say 0.75 is the gap is because that's where slipstream range kicks in. So if Granolas can get in the Westpat slipstream range, which is 0.75, he's going to catch him in a hurry, especially if it's a sector of the track that has a lot of straights. Cobra actually gaining on both of them. Cobra Senior seems to actually have a lot of consistency. Granolas can click off a really fast lap every now and then, but right now Cobra seems to be the consistent one. But regardless, it looks like it's going to be a lockout of the top 3 for Vortex. But more importantly, who's going to get the win here? Is it going to be Westpat? Going to be Granolas? Can Granolas make up the time? Or are those guys going to get to battling, and is Cobra going to have an outside shot at this, obviously, after losing the lead? We're going to find out soon, obviously, coming through the last sector here, the last sector of the track before the final lap starts. A little further back, we got Hellbender and Nate battling for position. That's actually for a top 5. So, is Nate or Hellbender going to get the top 5? I'm not sure. Not really sure, but we're going to see. Obviously, Smitty is Not too far. Or no, it's not Nate. Sorry, Nate's here. It's Hellbender and Smitty battling. My bad. But Forza's actually pulled out to a bit of a gap on snail speed, and Domrem, the gap between him and Domrem has stabilized as well. Obviously, anything can happen on the final few laps, but these guys seem to be, decently spread out. It seems to be one of those things where they're all kind of settled in, and unless something drastic happens, it looks like it's going to finish that way. Oh, Westpat actually makes contact with the wall coming through the final to start the final lap. So Reynolds is now going to be within slipstream range of Westpat, which means, again, he is going to be coming in a hurry. Look at the closing rate on those two cars, man. Obviously, Reynolds is going to get on the gas nice and early to make sure he doesn't run over his teammate. That would probably be the worst case scenario for Vortex right now. But he's going to slide through here very carefully. Cobra is still 1.7 back, 1.8 back, and now if Girls can just stay in the slipstream range, it's going to be an easy move for him here. And I think Westpat is a bit of a sitting duck. I wouldn't get Westpat out yet, because we still got the last sector of the track to go, but Reynolds is definitely going to blow his doors off here, moving to the outside of Westpat for the lead on the final lap. Now it's Westpat, how much is he going to be able to gain back through the slipstream? Obviously that Peugeot flies. Westpat really, really late on the brakes. Is he going to be able to take the lead back? That's the question. He's going to get out of this corner a lot better than Reynolds, at least for the most part. Here he comes. Going to have slipstream on the Peugeot VGT. That car is more straight line, but with the slipstream, he's going to be able to maintain the gap and go into this cornering section, not too far behind him. Little bump from behind. You can tell Westpat really wants to get this win. Is he going to get it? Looks like Reynolds is going to hold on. Reynolds nice and careful through the last corner, but is Westpat going to get a run? It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Reynolds coming from the back after a not-so-good start is going to pick up the win here at South Inner Loop, Tokyo, with Cobra in hot pursuit. What a great race. Obviously, Reynolds and Cobra both having big problems throughout the race, and are all going to actually be rewarded with a podium finish. Reynolds, obviously the most notable of which, has picked up the win. Nightmare, Legend, Smitty, Hellbender are going to finish up here in the top 7 as Snail Speed crossed the line 8th. Forza not too far behind him, and Domrem is going to come home in 10th place. Top 10 for Domrem after not so great of a start, and the Corvette and the McLaren of Cobalt, Enigma, and Cowboy all running pretty close here at the end. Unfortunately came up a little short, but they ran well, they stayed in the race, they did their best, and once again, it's just for fun, and going to be interesting to see. It looks like we're going to have to wait out the 50-second timer. Oh no, Steffo is moving. Steffo is on the move. Steffo is going to cross the line up here. Obviously a few laps down. You want to get your drinks in, obviously, before the week starts. So, he's going to cross the line here and come home in 14th, and that's about it. That's all she wrote. And look at that. Oh, my goodness. I want to go back and look at that race leaderboard, because I think I just saw something extremely interesting. Gernolds takes home the win. Good for Gernolds. I'm happy for him. I expected him to bounce back after a bad race 1 at Monza. And sure enough, he did. But if you look at the race results here, first place through 8th place, it's a Peugeot VGT followed by an RSR, and then over and over again, Peugeot VGT, RSR, Peugeot VGT, RSR, Peugeot VGT, RSR, Peugeot VGT. Literally all the way 1 through 8, you have those cars kind of mixed up, so it kind of gives you an idea of what Vortex was going for with the meta. They have one car going extremely fast on the straights, and then they have the Porsches that are stable, reliable cars, and obviously it worked out for them, so, GG's to them, and you can see the rest of the running order here. Cobra Senior actually picking up the fastest lap with a 146.2, and I can tell you that's an extremely fast lap. 6th to 1st, very, very good, Gernolds, honestly. Treason was able to pick up on that, as well as myself. I don't think he dropped below 6, but 6th to 1st is definitely pretty crazy, considering he started 1st and then went to 6 and came all the way back. So now on to the final track, St. Croix B. Obviously, I mentioned South Inner Loop was more of a cornering-oriented track over Monza. Now, St. Croix B, while being another fictional track similar to south inner loop. There's actually even more kind of cornering on this track than there was on the last one. This is going to be a track where, you have a few straights where those cars can extend, kind of, spread their wings and kind of take off on the straights, but there's a lot of high-speed cornering on this track as well. So, so it's going to be interesting to see if they end up, again, changing up what cars they're driving. Regardless of such, it's going to be, we're going to find out quickly here whether or not, obviously, Vortex has a man advantage today, has a few extra drivers. Obviously, HMR is out with, some of their drivers are out with equipment issues and whatnot. Obviously, Racing King, who dominated the last time these two teams faced each other, is out. Obviously, his wheel is broken, so hopefully he gets that addressed before, the next team race or the next week or whenever the next race takes place. But Vortex having a good night tonight, obviously, bringing their A game, came to play, and going to be interesting to see what car choices here. I mean, that's always my favorite thing to check is what cars are running, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm kind of losing my voice. I have 96,000 mileage points? Yeah, no, I usually am pegged at 99, bro. I just drive a lot, I guess, bro. I don't know. I have 151,000 miles, so, yeah. That's probably what it is, But, yeah, go back over here. Oh, Granolas is in a Beetle. So we do have a new runner. As I mentioned, the Beetle, not a great car in a straight line. So you wouldn't see it in the first few races. But now that we're on a track that has a little more cornering-based track, you have cars like the Beetle coming out. And it's going to be interesting to see how this pink little circular-looking car is going to fare against some of the other cars. Snail Speed again. Once again, I said, what is the best car in the class at cornering? It's the Renault. Snail Speed's hopped in the Renault RS01. Taking it for a spin, I can confirm that the Renault is extremely, extremely fast. Very, very fast around this track. I ran it last night, actually, in a race, team race that we ran with HMR, and I had great success with that Renault, so Snail Speed, obviously, making it a good choice to get into his Renault RS01. The Beetle is my drag car for NFS Heat. Yeah, NFS Heat, man. NFS Heat, is the Beetle the best one, or is it the RSR? I know that old Porsche is really good in Need for Speed Heat, too. The F40 is pretty good in Heat. The Mclaren F1 DLC car is good in Heat. I know that. Nightmare actually has hopped in the M3, which is another car, has good straight line speed, but the M3's biggest strength is its stability. I don't think there's a single car in GR3 more stable than the M3, and Nightmare is going to try to obviously take advantage of that in the number 58 Vortex car. I have the utmost faith that Nightmare is going to put a good race together here, a very consistent race. So that's kind of what the M3 is all about, consistency, It's obviously hitting the wall and just getting kind of his bearings underneath him here first few laps. Cobra has actually gone from the Peugeot VGT into the Porsche. So once again, I kind of predicted the meta shift to a more cornering-based cars. So the Cobra now in the Porsche is obviously exhibiting that. The guy who had the fastest lap in the last race now hopped into a Porsche. And Smitty, no surprise, stays in the Porsche as well. Enigma is going to actually stick around the McLaren F1 and Domrev into the Beetle as well. So, got a couple Beetles on the track, got an M3, got a few Porsches. And the 4GT, I can also tell you, is a very solid car at this track. The 4GT has pretty good handling, but it has good straight line speed. And I'm telling you, the Porsche 4GT can get around here really quickly if you have it set up properly. And I imagine the HMR guys, they know what they're doing. They obviously know what the hell they're doing. They're going to put on a show for us and obviously try to get some good laps here early on so they can get a good starting position. Yeah, I agree. 4GT is a good all-rounder for sure. Legend has also hopped in the Renault, so that's a second Renault. Right now, Road Dogg actually has the fastest lap in the M3 as well. So we have two M3s, two 4GTs, two RSL1s, 2 Beetles, got a bit of everything out here right now. So Forza remains in the Ford GT, and of course Cobalt. What else? You know, staying true to that Corvette, and I can imagine out of all the tracks, the Corvette is probably going to be the best here. Out of all the 3 tracks that we've run, the Corvette should be quite good. It has a good balance of decent handling, decent top end, and really good stability. So the Corvette should be, you know, a player at least be stronger than it was in the previous couple of tracks. Reynolds has actually picked up the fastest laps in the Beetle. I imagine that fastest lap is going to go down quite far below 2 minute when it's all said and done. But these guys obviously are just getting used to the track. So, no, not much to be said right now. It looks like Reynolds is really starting to push, get used to that Beetle, get the most out of it. Road Dogg in the M3 as well. Also, 8/10 purple on his lap. So maybe we'll go on board here. Very nice American themed livery from Road Dogg. Very nice Vortex, number 99. I really like that livery a lot, actually. Let's see how he finishes off this lap. We actually got Flow Gators coming into the room as well. This is another Vortex member. So I don't know if Flow Gators going to run this one or what the deal is, but... and there's Cobra with a 159.3. So he's now first on the leaderboard currently. So we're going to watch here. We're going to slowly go back through the leaderboard. Flow Gators, if you don't want to hear me yapping and commentating, I recommend muting me. Spinny actually now picks up the fastest lap, at least for
so
the
you
time
already
being.
got y'all's contenders?
Yeah.
I can jump in?
Right, there we go. For now, I'm just muting those guys, just so they don't have to listen to me yap. Yeah, well, that's awesome, man, that you subbed, man. I'm super happy that you did that. You think Granolas will be top 3? That's a pretty safe bet, Treason. I don't think you're going out on a limb there to say Granolas is going to be top 3. I think he's going to be top 3, too. There's a good chance he'll be top 1, but again, with these races, you never truly know. So, Legend has picked up the second best time. Yep, once again, Granolas with a 156.2. I can tell you once again from experience, that's a quick lap, you know. Granolas has definitely come to play once again. He's already a 10th up on his last lap. I'll tell you what, man. He is not straying away from the limelight tonight. Granolas has either been checkers or wreckers, man. That guy is either setting the fastest lap, going out and dominating, or you know, he's having a hard time getting up through there sometimes, but doing a good job tonight, obviously, representing his team, and in front of him, obviously, you have the Corvette of Cobalt, and that, unfortunately, I think Cobalt was trying to move out of the way, but it ended up getting in the way of Granolas by accident, but good sportsmanship there, them waiting for each other. Flow Gators actually hopped in the Beetle as well, another St. Deuce's crash with 2 laps left and somehow win. You really, truly never know. It's crazy out here, man. These guys... You know, you never really know what's going to happen until the checkered flag flies, really. I mean, these guys are very, very good drivers, but there's a lot that can happen in a race, of course, of a race, and obviously these guys showing that tonight.
Was that dude on his Twitch? What a cool guy.
Exactly, great sport. With a 157.1, so he's actually within a second of Granolas. Got the hiccups a little bit. Oh, welcome. We have 11 people in the chat. Holy moly. Fuck. It's crazy. Welcome everyone to the stream. Obviously, we're just commentating over people going for lap times right now, but hopefully we're going to get this race started soon. We're going to get a good look at Granolas right now, who's currently the pole sitter in that pink Beetle. It's actually quite an interesting, pretty nice looking livery. I'd say it's on the stylish side. What do you guys think? It's a nice car. But obviously he's a 10th and a half up about on his last lap, so maybe trying to shoot for a 155 for Granolas, and I'll tell you what, that's a fast lap around here. Especially for a car that doesn't tend to have a lot of straight line speed. That Beetle is a little bit of a turd when it comes to straight line speed, but he's making it work around here. using it to the best of his advantage. And Smitty actually starts the race, so you guys are going to get to see the start of this race, which is usually very eventful. Again, once again, we got a few different cars out here. We got some Beetles, we got some M3s, we got some Renaults, all of which kind of have different launches. So like the M3 and the Beetle will probably have a better launch than the Renault, but the Porsche will have a better launch than the M3. So I'm going to be interested to see who gets off to a good start, who gets the lead early on here. Am I the only one who prefers basic liveries? Yeah, I don't know. It kind of depends. Obviously, like if you're going for like that JDM, like simplistic style, like yeah, simple liveries are great. But you know, it depends. Sometimes on race cars, really complex liveries too. It just kind of depends on what you're going for. But as I expected, the Porsche actually gets a better launch, and there goes the M3 and the Beetle. We got some diversity here. Obviously, I mentioned that there weren't many FR cars in this team race, but it looks like now the Beetle and the M3 are going to start fighting with these Porsches to see if they can get the upper hand on this particular track. Hellbender out to an early lead with Gernol's in hot pursuit. Behind them, Nightmare goes into the inside of Cobra. These two continue to battle, and Legend on the Renault, who didn't get a particularly good start, is going to go to the outside. It's almost three wide, but I think Legend backed out, and he's going to fall in behind Cobra Senior. A little bit of wall contact there for Legend, and he's going to have to try to regroup here. We go back to him. And a lot of action going on behind them. I didn't even check that out yet, but Dom Rep's also in the medium now. The Cowboy in the 4GT, switching over from the McLaren F1 from last race. Now he's battling alongside, and he's actually not alongside anyone. I'm tripping. But they're three wide behind him. As Flowgators and Road Dogg, Forza Ferrari and Smitty, and I think Flowgators actually cleared them. Still side by side, Forza gets a little bit of the wall, Smitty gets a little bit of the wall, so Forza's actually going to end up pulling ahead of him with Snail Speed behind him. And then rounding out the field, you know, you got an Enigma and Cobalt. But they're going to continue on as Gernol's has actually picked up the lead. Unfortunately, I missed the lead battle. And Gernol's was able to get by Hellbender. And it's already pulled out to a 1.9 second lead, so I kind of assumed that Hellbender had a bit of a moment, I'll say. A bit of a moment, to say the least. Nightmare is honestly within slipstream range of him. Legend in hot pursuit as well, so we got a bit of a three-way battle for P2 currently, as Gernol's actually has extended his lead to 2.5 in that big Beetle. Cobra Senior, I expect to obviously make up some time as well. The third place finisher from last race, also at the fastest lap of the race, so I expect him to make up some time as well at a track like this. Domrep also in the running right now with Westpad close behind him. Westpad in the Renault RS01. Now Westpad obviously the second place finisher in the last race. I'm going to try to rebound this race, but unfortunately it's pretty far back early on in the running. I obviously don't expect him to finish 6th or 7th or wherever he is now, but that's kind of the position he's currently put himself in. His Flowgators, a little bit of lag there off the front of Flowgator's car. Obviously being online, this is kind of something we have to deal with, and looks like he's hanging in there though despite the lag. Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues with other people around the track. As Forza and Snail Speed and Cobalt are in a three-way battle here for 11th place. Now, if something up in front of them happens, this can easily be a battle for the top 10 positions. So, obviously battling hard. Forza actually making contact with the wall once again. You know, Forza, he'll get back up, he'll rebound, and continue on. As Cobalt actually follows Snail Speed here. In behind them, you have Enigma and Forza Ferrari. Enigma is actually on kind of an island by himself here. Sticking with that beautiful McLaren F1. Obviously maybe getting acclimated with the track and trying to learn essentially where he needs to brake and whatnot. It's one of those tracks where it can be a bit of a challenge, especially at first glance. I know when I first started on this track I was a little overwhelmed by it myself, but obviously when I go back to the lead battle, Gernol's has gone from 2.5 to 2.8 over this past lap. Actually now at 3.2, so Gernol's really getting through that last corner well with a 157.4. We saw him get a 56.2 in the practice, so I expect him to speed up even more so. Now it looks like Vortex has locked out the top 5 currently. Domrem is actually in 7th, not too far behind, battling with Flow Gators. So, yeah, you definitely called that. You were going out on a limb when you mentioned him being in the top 3, obviously, because Granolas has been a staple in the top 3 really all night. Just that first race obviously had a bit of an issue, but looks like everybody's kind of out of draft range right now. Nothing really too big going on. Domrem and Flow Gators obviously had a bit of battle before. I don't know if that battle's going to continue, but Flow Gators has actually caught up to Westpat. And Legend looks like he had a bit of an issue, because Legend probably had an issue coming off that corner or going onto that corner onto the bridge. I can tell you from experience, there's a big bump. I'm going to go on board with somebody here. My replay board. But there is a big bump. Big bump on going onto the bridge section. I'll show Granolas next time he goes by it. But and it's not pretty. It's definitely one of those bumps that if you hit it the wrong way, you're going into the wall, and the wall sticks out there on the entrance to the bridge. So that's probably the biggest bitch on the track. Definitely the biggest area where you can have some major issues, kind of ruin your race. But it looks like Legend has recovered nicely for the most part. And this is a wreck, actually. I'm not sure who that was. We're going to have to get a look at it. It looks like it was an M3. I wasn't able to catch who that was. Sorry, I'm a little shaky on the camera controls here, boys. I think it was Naymare. Naymare actually has a big problem. It goes all the way back to 10th. So Naymare, who's running, I think, within the top 5, yeah, he's fallen all the way back. Flow Gators is a Vortex member, if you're wondering. But now Westpat and Flow Gators working together all the way up and work themselves into 4th and 5th position. Actually, not far behind Cobra either. Cobra Senior. Now, Hellbender is way out in front of these guys, 5.6, and then even further ahead is 5 seconds ahead is Granolas. He's now into the 55s once again. Some great laps from Granolas. Here, what I was saying is, look at this. There's a big bump right there. Now, you couldn't really tell on his perspective. I want to see if you can see a little better on Hellbender's. There's a big bump there, and if you hit it the wrong way, you go into that outside wall backwards sometimes. It's very, very scary, so definitely one of the problem areas of the track, and these guys are taking it like complete champs. The reason it doesn't look like such a big bump when you're watching is these guys driving is so smooth and so fast, and just make it look like it's effortless, but I promise you, it's definitely a tough area to be on the track. It's a bit of a bump out of this corner as well, but again, Westpat handles it like a champ. He's actually within draft range of Cobra Senior, so is he going to get a big enough run to pass him by the corner? I'm not really 100% sure if he's going to be able to do that, but requested to watch your gameplay. Sorry guys, I'm going to go take a look at what this is. I guess maybe he wants to watch the boss. Share, play, and stream at the same time. Oh man, I've never done this before. Is he in the party? He's not even in the party. I can't even share play. Yeah, I'm on Twitch. For anyone I don't know if he's in here watching, but anyways, let's go back to the race. Sorry about that, guys. A little intermission. But Westpat behind Cobra Senior. Flow Gators has fallen off a little bit, and actually he's around Flow Gators hard into the wall. Big wreck there, but obviously keeps it going as Domrem actually hobbles by in the Beetle as well. So he's position number 7 right now as things have started to spread out a little bit out front. Cobra and Westpat are the closest battle on track right now. Legend is looking to get into slipstream range of both of those guys. As we head to the back a little bit here, we have no real close battles here. Actually, it looks like Snail Speed is coming up on Naymare. Cowboy obviously 3.5 seconds behind them. And everyone else near the back is a little bit spread out, but Domrem has found himself actually gaining on Smitty. So if Domrem can get Smitty's draft, and then Smitty can get up to Legend and Westpat and all that, then we can definitely have a good battle on our hands. Speaking of which, Westpat is looking for an opening on Cobra. Obviously, Cobra being Westpat's teammate, he could very well try to let him by. But whether or not he's going to is another question entirely. But, oh, and Westpat makes contact with the wall there. He's going to lose his run, and Smitty sorry, Legend is actually going to head right by him. Like he's standing still, and now Legend actually goes into the slipstream range of Cobra. So he's going to get towed down this entire straight here, running a 6-speed, actually. The Renault's usually a 7-speed, but he's got a 6-speed transmission. I've seen those work on Renaults quite often. But, obviously, when you max out the horsepower on these cars, using all the gears isn't always necessary, considering a lot of them can back up the amount of torque. They have a lot of torque, and they can back up the amount of power they have with only 6 of the 7 gears. And actually, Legend, big run to the outside of Cobra, and he's actually going to clear him before the corner. So, Legend making a bit of a comeback here into P3. I think he made a mistake early, but he's recovered very nicely into P3. Obviously, 5 seconds behind Hellbender. Unlikely he's going to run down Hellbender, and obviously Grenobles, again with the 155s. Guys on an island, running low 56s consistently, doing his thing. Otherwise, though, we got a bit of a tight battle here. Westpat, I know, is definitely going to want to rebound and try to catch Legend and Cobra. I know he doesn't go down without a fight, that's for sure. So, Flowgator's actually, I think he's fallen a little bit further back, actually. I think he actually had an accident earlier. And now Domrem has run wide, so is Flowgator's going to get by him? Yes, he is. But Domrem is going to try to stay inside slipstream range, so maybe he can get that position back. But for the time being, Flowgator is back into 7th place. Domrem obviously staying there, and Nightmare hasn't been able to recover from that big crash early on, and him and Snail Speed are running nose to tail for 9th position. It looks like, as far as Snail Speed goes, he's comfortably got 10th locked down, and Cowboy, once again, got 6 seconds in front of him and 6 seconds behind him. Just kind of running his own race and carrying on, you know, doing a good job. And, you know, obviously not the best race for these guys, but these guys near the back, but, you know, they're doing their thing, they're doing their best, and they're out here running laps and making laps and getting better, and that's kind of what this is all about. It's a little bit of a for fun race. Obviously, HMR not with their full lineup tonight, so just getting some reps in, and hopefully when they get Racing King and a few others back, HMR is actually going to be able to compete a little bit better than they have tonight, just due, obviously, to some of their issues, I think. As Grenobles actually starts the final lap, 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the competition in that pink Beetle. Definitely switched cars, and he made a good call. Actually went a little wide there, but was able to correct it. Yeah, the Ford GT is a sexy car, man. I agree with you there, Teresa. And Hellbender actually goes wide, so is Hellbender going to be able to recover? Yes, he is, and he's still got a big gap to Legend, so he'll be fine. But this is the battle I kind of want to take a look at. I want to see if there's anything else going on track. It doesn't seem like there is. Yeah, not too much going on. This is the battle I want to look at here between Legend, Cobra, and Westpat. Now, Legend has actually broke slipstream range from Cobra, and Cobra has broken slipstream range from Westpat. So they're starting to spread out just a little bit, but this is probably the closest battle on track, so we're going to see, obviously, if Westpat can make up some ground on Cobra, or if Cobra's going to be able to hold on. It looks like, Cobra's making up some ground on Legend. Legend, who convincingly went by Cobra earlier, has actually fallen off a little bit. Now Cobra in the slipstream range of Legend. Looks like he actually got a good exit there, too, and is still within slipstream range. Now, around this corner, Legend's Renault is going to get a big run through here, because the Renault is extremely good through a corner like this. And he keeps it off the wall, but I think Legend actually stays out of slipstream range. Clutch performance there from Legend to try to keep him back. And now that that's happened, it's pretty much in the bag for Legend. He has it made. He's going to be able to get a podium, it looks like, as long as everything goes as planned. As far as everything else, it seems to have spread out quite nicely. Forza has a bit of an off, but keeps it out of the wall, you know? Keeps it out of the wall. Grenobles through the final corner. Makes contact with the wall, is actually going to wait a little bit. Maybe he's going to wait to see if he can make the timer last a little longer so everybody can finish. But Hellbender is coming through here second. Cobra looks like he had a bit of an issue. Westpat still not in slipstream range, so I think that's going to be it. Grenobles finishes, Hellbender finishes second. Legend in third, Cobra fourth. Westpat fifth, right behind him. Smitty is going to come up in sixth, break the draft of Flowgators, who went seventh, right behind him. And Domrem coming home in eighth place. solid top 10 for these guys. Domram. Nightmare recovers for another top 10 in 9th place. Snail Speed is a distant 10th place, and behind him is Cowboy. Once again, on his island, he's going to spin it home in style for 11th place. Cobalt in the vent, stayed true to the vent the entire night. Is going to actually pull in here to 12th place. And I think Forza is going to have enough time to finish this race in this beautiful Golf livery 4GT, the number 40 car. Forza Ferrari driving the 4GT Spec 2. We're a little wide here, and once again, finish up behind here, and Enigma is into the sand, but you know he's going to try to finish it up as well. Obviously not familiar with the track. I didn't get off to the best start, but Enigma, you know, ran a good night. He was running up front in the Monza race actually, so you know had a good night at times, but then at other times not the best night. But again, it's all just for fun, just practice. And Granolas takes home his second win of the night. This one much more comfortable, obviously, than the first win that he got, where he made a last lap pass on Westpac. But Granolas going to take home that win. Hellbender right behind him, and did he finish? Did Enigma did end up finishing, so good for Enigma. Had to burn some penalties there at the end, I think. So Granola's going to take home the trophy once again. So the first race, I think, who took the first race? I'm already forgetting, man. My memory isn't too good, but I think Cobra Senior won the first race. With this race results, we have Granola's Hellbender Legend, and then Cobra Senior, followed by Westpat, Smitty, Flowgators, Domrem, Nightmare, Snail Speed, Cowboy, Cobalt, Forza, Enigma, and Road Dogg unfortunately had to back out of that race. Fastest lap of the race was Granolas with a 155.8. And yeah, that was the third race. I think that's the last of the races tonight as far as the team versus team goes. I'm going to continue streaming, guys, but I got to mute my mic quickly just because I have a incoming call really quickly that I got to take. So I'll be back probably in about 2 minutes. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Alright, we're going to shut down the stream here. Anybody watching? That was AMS Dude commenting for us live on Twitch. Go check him out. Thanks for stopping by.